story. The New York Times has just sued the State Department. They're seeking access to U.S. Embassy emails that mention Hunter Biden. Now, lawyers for the newspaper say the State Department is withholding those emails unlawfully. They've submitted a Freedom of Information Act request. It's been ignored. Glenn Greenwald has been following the story, which is really interesting. He's, of course, a journalist, one of the most famous. He's on Substack now. He joins us tonight. Glenn, thanks so much for coming on. So what does this mean, this story, do you think?
Well, first of all, anytime anyone asks me about Hunter Biden, I have to say that I don't think we've ever fully processed how extraordinary it was that right before the election, every media outlet, now concerned about Joe Rogan's disinformation, spread the CIA lie that the Hunter Biden emails were Russian disinformation, and that was used to censor the entire story. These are the people so deeply worried about disinformation, and then they never went back and retracted that story, even when a Politico reporter proved those emails were actually real. Now the New York Times reporters, who actually have been quite good about trying to follow this story, are back at it, pursuing the possibility that Hunter Biden in Romania was trading on his father's influence in order to represent corrupt Romanians at the time that his father was vice president. This was always the story, Tucker, was whether Joe Biden was trading on his influence as vice president to generate profit for his son and for his family. And now that there's no election, I guess we're allowed to hear about it.
You have such a good memory, I have to say. I mean, just the news tsunami, overwhelms most of us. We can't remember what the facts were, but you always do. So why do you think, and how do you think, the U.S. government could deny a news organization access to materials like this?
I don't think that we can overstate how desperate and eager agencies in the United States government were to ensure that Donald Trump lost the 2020 election. Right. We have so many examples, the one I just gave being one of them, where they just outright lied and spread a complete falsehood to justify the suppression of that reporting that could have really undermined Joe Biden's campaign brand of truth. I don't know if they did that deliberately here, but what clearly seems to be the case is that they withheld information. They told the Times, oh, we'll get this information to you in 2023, namely after the next election in 2022, even though the law requires that they get it in 20 days. So there are a couple of reporters, to their credit, at the New York Times, serious about pursuing this story, and I feel like they have more space to do that now that there's no election pending.
Yeah, I know. It's that, of course, is always the backdrop, is domestic politics. But I do hope they get it anyway, because you shouldn't suppress the truth. It's not democracy. Glenn Greenwald, thank you, as always, for your reporting. Appreciate it.
Good to be with you, Tucker.